What is that? Have we changed up our music? We sure have. It'll be your introduction to different formats or episodes that we produce. Welcome to your Sound Off Hot Take episode of the week. My name is Mike, this is SoundstageEDU, and this is what we're ranting on today. So buckle up. This one is going to sting a little bit. And if you enjoy these, be sure to hit follow on whatever you're listening to. Be it Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, follow us. That's how we grow. So today, I'm not speaking to directors or to parents. I'm not speaking to any of the adults. I mean, I kind of am. But really what this one is me speaking for the students. And I need to say this loud and clear. We have got to stop celebrating mediocrity. Period. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't make our kids stronger. It doesn't prepare them for real life. And honestly, it's starting to do more harm than good. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about celebrating progress. If a student works their tail off and they finally get that rep right, celebrate the heck out of that. If the group pushes through a tough rehearsal and they're clearly stronger than they were yesterday, cheer for that until the roof shakes. Am I right? That's progress. That's growth. That's what deserves applause. But mediocrity? No. No. That's where I draw the line. Here's the difference. Progress is measurable improvement. Progress is effort paying off. Progress is growth that you can point to and say, yes, we are better today than we were yesterday. Mediocrity? Man, that's just phoning it in. That's half speed, sloppy rehearsal. That's good enough for today. And friends, that does not deserve applause. So some of you know that I consult with various high schools, consulting on their audio equipment on the sideline, which means I get to sit in on a lot of rehearsals. And as someone who sat on the educational staff of marching programs, I see a lot of things that rub me the wrong way because I come from a different pedigree. I come from a different background than a lot of these folks do. That's not me saying I'm better than them. It's just saying I'm different. I have a different lens than a lot of the current modern day educators have, and that's fine. We all have our place. This is my lane. But I do see a lot. And that's where I get a lot of my thoughts from. Things that used to weigh on me back in the day. And they're coming back to the surface again. So the other night, I was at a local rehearsal. And I saw this in action. The kids came off the field from a run. Now, keep in mind, this is a very disciplined championship level band that I got to sit in at. But the kids, I mean, we're coming up on October. It is October 1st now. But these kids were gassed. Man, they were tired. It was late at night. It was hot. And it was fine. I mean, it wasn't bad, but for this particular group, it wasn't great. And that's another thing I want to point at. Know your audience. Know the group you're dealing with. Because for some other programs down the street, what this group just put out was great. But for this group, it was not. It was just fine. It was mediocre. And then somebody clapped. Somebody said, that was great. And in my head, I thought, no, it wasn't. That was average. And these kids know it. They know when it's not their best. But now, because someone applauded it, We've sent the message that average is worth celebrating. And here's the problem. In the real world, average doesn't get you the job. Average doesn't get you the scholarship. Average doesn't get you the callback. It does not get you the contract. Average does not build confidence. And if you hand out a standing ovation for mediocrity, you're teaching kids that average is enough. And average, friends, is never enough. Here's the cultural problem. Somewhere along the way, we confused encouragement with dishonesty. We got so afraid of being labeled too hard, too mean, too demanding, that we swung all the way to the other side of the fence. Now, it's constant hype, constant positivity, constant, yes, you're crushing it, even when they're not. And let me tell you why that's dangerous. Number one, kids stop trusting adults. Students are smart. They know when something isn't good. They feel it. So when you tell them it's amazing, they know you're lying. Number two, they plateau. Why push harder if good enough already gets the applause? Seriously, why? I wouldn't. You wouldn't. They're not going to. If they can coast and still get celebrated, then what's the incentive to reach for the next level? And number three, they're completely unprepared for the real world, because the first time a boss or a professor or a client tells them this isn't good enough, they're going to crumble right then and there. They don't build the grit that they need. Students don't need us to be their cheerleaders for mediocrity. They need us to be their truth tellers. Now let me flip the script. I'm not always this mean, but this is a hot take. But there is a good side to this. I'm not saying we don't celebrate. I'm not saying we don't encourage. In fact, I think we should celebrate like crazy. But we've got to celebrate the right things. Celebrate progress. That first time the trumpets actually lock in the release, the moment the drumline finally nails that transition clean, when the flutes push through the hard phrase without dropping out, when the ensemble pushes instead of giving up, that's what deserves applause. Celebrate courage. The kid who steps up to lead a section, the student who shows up tired but gives full effort anyway, the one who owns their mistake, fixes it, and comes back stronger. That is worth celebrating, because progress is fuel. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've never met a musician or group of musicians that said that an excellent run was exhausting. It's fuel. Progress is the same way. It's fuel. It's a circle of energy in excellence. That's where it comes from. Mediocrity is quicksand. One moves you forward, the other drags you down. Now, growing up, quicksand was always something we were worried about. Maybe it's not so much now. I mean, I swear, I've expected to have more run-ins with quicksand as I've grown up, and I haven't. But mediocrity is quicksand. It will make you get stuck. You won't progress. Now, here's the pushback I know I'm going to get. That's already bubbling up in some of your minds. Well, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to crush their spirit. Good. Don't be mean. Don't crush their spirit. But don't lie to them either. Honesty doesn't mean yelling. It doesn't mean belittling. It just means calling it what it is. Instead of, that was awesome, try, hey, that was closer. You're on the right track, but you've got more in you. Let's dig in again. Instead of, man, you're killing it. Try, we're not there yet, but I can see where this is headed, so let's keep going. Let's keep fighting. Those kids, your students, they're going to respect honesty more than fake hype. They will remember the mentor who looked them in the eye and said, I know you can do better, and I'm not letting you settle. That's love. That's advocacy. That's mentorship. So here's where we land. We all want to build kids up. We all want them to feel good, but feeling good is not the same as being great. You're not doing your students any favors by hyping mediocrity. In fact, you're robbing them of the pride that only comes when they've actually earned it. So let's celebrate progress. Let's celebrate growth. Let's celebrate the hard-fought victories. But mediocrity? No. We leave that behind. I saw that in action just this morning at a morning rehearsal at the school that's closest to me. That's the one I go to the most because they're 2 miles away. And the director spoke directly into this. And he said, this is not the same band that we had 2 years ago. You guys have grown so much, and that's worth celebrating, regardless of what happens today at contest. Know that you've grown so much. So all those kids, they've already won. They've got the energy they need for an excellent performance this afternoon. That's what I mean by celebrating the hard-fought victories. But mediocrity, again, we leave that behind. Because these kids deserve better. The arts deserve better. And if we're not brave enough to tell the truth, then who will? Because when the judges say it, they're not going to believe it. Or they're going to think the judge is a jerk. Well, so-and-so said we were great. And that's where the story starts to unwind. So if this struck a chord with you, share it with a colleague. Share it with another parent. Send it to your booster club. Play it for your staff. And please, let's be honest with our kids, because they are capable of greatness, and they need us to stop settling for less. Thank you for listening. This is Mike with SoundstageEDU. Be sure to hit follow on the podcast wherever you're listening to it. Spotify, Amazon, Apple, YouTube. And be sure to follow us on our TikTok, Facebook, all of our socials. Just went blank. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us there. We're posting daily, or we're trying to post daily, motivational clips for the kids. And for you parents too. And directors. For all of you. So be sure to follow us, like and share, and we'll see you at the next hot take.